Hey, happy Wine Wednesday. Cheers.
Cheers, Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club members. Welcome. It's uh, it's Wine Happy Hour Wednesday. We are here chatting wine across the country with all of our members and wine lovers. There's a lot to talk about again this week. We have lots of experience that we want to share with you because there's been a lot of great tasting around up and down the Okanagan Valley and also outside of the Okanagan Valley, I should say. So yeah, can't wait to share all of that with you guys. It's great to see you. Mira, how's it going?
It's going great. I have some rosé that I really love in my glass, so I can't complain. And in BC, the last, week and a half, we've had like record-breaking temperatures, great temperatures.
That's beautiful. The sun is out. The wind is pretty non-existent, and the bud it's big. It's bud break all over the place here, up and down the valley, especially down south. So yeah,
big sigh of relief for a lot of wineries in BC, right? Because they had a lot of wineries reporting potentially like 60% loss of their grapes this year because of the weather.
Let's backtrack a little bit in December. So in December there was a big cold snap, a massive cold snap here in BC, especially around the Okanagan Valley, where they hit like minus 26, minus 27 for an extended period of times. And you know what? If you guys know a little bit about that the vines do not like the minus 24 and above. It's almost immediate frost damage, and sometimes means death of the vines as well. So we're really. It's not a shock to hear that there's multiple producer and grape grower are experiencing a major loss this year. So we can already expect a very small crop for this year. So now we're crossing our finger and we're hoping for a great quality crop, right? So we've seen now that the buds are breaking. So that's mean it's not all dead. That's mean there's positive. That's mean there's hope. So some producer are celebrating. So it's pretty nice to see the little pop out of the shoots. So yeah.
They look like little flowers. So this is at Black Market in BC.
This is Caledon here. So just before Okanagan Falls, 15 minutes past Penticton.
Yeah, and those are Merlot vines, hey? And then this is our Members' Choice Winery of the Year for Ontario last year, Bellaterra. So that's bud break out at Bellaterra this week. You can see they're both almost along, around the same level, hey?
There you go. So these are good news. I don't think that Ontario has as much loss than what we've seen here in BC. That's what I'm hearing. So hopefully a bigger crop in Ontario, because if we experience a small crop on both sides of the country, just wondering what we're going to sell next year. So we have Pierre joining us. Pierre, un beau bonsoir à tout le monde en français, à tous nos amateurs de vin canadiens, partout au pays, partout à travers le monde, je devrais dire. Je pense que Pierre se joint à nous de l'Australie. Un petit peu comme la semaine passée, à moins qu'il s'est revenu à la maison, à tout notre monde en français, nos amateurs de vin canadiens, on vous souhaite un bon mercredi. Dans mon verre, j'ai un beau petit verre de rosé. C'est fait par Seven Direction. Notre ami Daniel Bonterin à Seven Direction, ça c'est son Cabernet Franc. J'ai aussi un Pinot Noir du Naramata Bench, qui est un beau Pinot de Foreshadow qu'on va parler un petit peu plus tard. Donc, un gros merci à tout le monde de vous joindre à nous. Laissez-nous savoir qu'est-ce qui est dans votre verre, qu'est-ce que vous dégustez ce soir. Toujours intéressé de savoir qu'est-ce que nos membres ont dans leur verre. Hey everyone, Happy Wednesday. Great. Like people are tuning in more and more right now. You can see that. Mike is in. Vicky's in. Good evening, wine lovers. What's in your glass tonight? I have Foreshadow Pinot Noir. I have a beautiful Cabernet Franc Rosé from our friend at Seven Direction, Daniel Bonterin. So we're going to talk rosé tonight. We're going to talk Naramata Bench. We're going to talk wine touring and more. So,
and we're talking some very exciting news about a rosé vertical that's never been done before, as far as we know in Canadian history in this way. So another
that is really exciting. What are we starting for? What do you want to start with, Mira? You know, you're the boss here. So I'm just gonna follow your lead. You tell me what you want to talk about, and we're gonna jump right in.
Okay, well then let's start with the most exciting thing that's happened to us in a long time. And let's tell the story, because we were out, what was it, 2 weeks ago now? And
I know where you're going. I know where you're going now.
We said, look, there's nothing in our schedule tomorrow. Maybe we can finally go down and taste the brand new rosés from Seven Directions. We've been meaning to get down there and be some of the first to taste them. Every year, Carl's Wine Club members have helped sell out the rosés from Seven Directions made by Daniel Bonterin. And then we were like, oh, wait, there is something in our calendar. We have a friend visiting from Quebec, and we're taking him wine touring. So it all worked out beautifully. He ended up coming along with us. He had never been to the Okanagan. So imagine this introduction, okay?
Well, and it's a Québécois born in Provence. So he's French from France, from Provence, so hometown of rosé, right? A guy who grew up tasting Provençal rosé, ended up in Quebec, and he's a restaurant owner. He owned a chain of restaurant where they have 30 different locations of Napolitan pizza. Anyway, long story short, Olivier is touring with us, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I forgot that I had an appointment. Do you mind to come with me? So he's like, well, no, we'll go. So we'll see. We'll taste some rosé. So it ended up to be one of the most crazy experience we had. And here we go. Look who's there. Olivier, on est en train de parler de toi. On est en train de parler de notre journée d'il y a 2 semaines, du bon rosé qu'on est allé goûter dans la vallée de la Similkameen. Who's tuning in? That is just too funny. Talking about the man, and he's tuning in. So there you go. Welcome, Olivier Lemoyle. Quebec City represent. So there you go.
So yeah, and this is a new winery, new vineyard that they're planting. They've got Grenache, so we take a walk around, right? And the winery hasn't opened yet. The building's still being constructed. There's construction people all around, but we sat down in the sort of barrel room area. And Daniel had his.
There you go again. So we're having trouble with our internet. Everything is cutting off. I am sick and tired of that stupid situation with Shaw.
I think it's just your spot there. So we'll get you plugged in next time. So yes, Olivier, it was incredible. So yeah, so we get there. We're tasting the brand new Tractor and Vines Rosé and the brand new Fruit Bell Ridge Rosé, which we're so excited because it was just bottled like 2 weeks before, right? Yeah, no issues with the connection. We can see.
Okay, so I can swear like that and everyone can hear me. So that's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, I like it.
Yes.
Perfect. So let's keep it going.
So this is exciting enough. Like here's Carl's first impressions with, I think, the Tractor and Vines. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Almost. Yeah. Yeah.
Almost.
But to me, from what I know from what he does, yeah, this is the
Cab Franc's a little bit lighter. The Tractor and Vines always had that little bit of salmony
But we really dialed in the cap rock as well, as far as bringing the alcohol down, picking 22.5 bricks instead of 23.5, and a little bit more acidity. So even with the scores, it's slowly bumping up to. Right? Mm-hmm. It was always a little bit behind, but I mean it still is a little bit behind from Tractor, but it's definitely going up with the acidity.
So we're tasting them and we're like, wow, amazing. These wines have just gotten better and better every year. Our friend Olivier is like blown away by the quality, especially at the price point. But then something even crazier happens, right, Carl? Something pretty crazy happens. And that is Daniel, the winemaker, goes out and gets an X-Acto knife and he starts like cutting into some boxes in his storage area there. And we're like, what are you doing?
So what he was doing, he just put out a bottle of the 2013, I believe, bottle of a 2013 not Tractor in Vines, but that was from a different vineyard back then, but a 2013 Pinot Noir Rosé that he made from a single vineyard in West Kelowna, from the Kalala vineyard, and made 100% in a 500-liter French oak puncheon. And you should have seen that bottle when you pull that out of the box. From the side flap, it was orange, like bright orange. And anyway, we started to.
Rosé gets darker as it ages, right? So if you can imagine, this is an 10-year-old rosé, right?
Yeah, we're at 10 years. Did you have any footage of that?
Yeah, I have you tasting it.
It's geeky. So it just means like going back in time and going back in. Yeah, I don't know. It's just traveling back in time.
Wow.
With the oak, with the certain oak usage that you're not used to talk about in modern rosé patio pounder, I would say. It's just not what it is. It's just like 10 years old now. Right, look at that. It's just when you can smell oak, fresh oak out of a rosé, 10-year-old rosé like that is just like so unique. And there's a savoriness too. It's almost like papaya.
I never thought about barrels until like 2012. Like when I was in Vila, I never. And I saw an article on Sassa Lynch, Chateau de Caen.
Yeah.
And I saw their barrel room full of puncheons and all the glycol things coming down, all the barrels temperature controlled. I'm like, I'm doing that.
Yeah, Sasha.
So I started with I got like cooling snakes. Like I said, every barrel is temperature controlled. It's only a couple barrels, but still they're temperature controlled to what I want. So, it's come out. So.
Yeah, so we actually tasted this 10-year-old bottle of rosé. So if anyone ever thought Canadian wines can't age well, we just tasted 10-year-old Canadian rosé that aged amazingly.
Yeah, so it was incredible. And since then, the whole purpose was to taste the new release, right? Because there's an excitement. He has built almost a cult following. It transcends, like right now as we speak, and like with the amount of effort that we've put in promoting Tractor and Vines, they were their absolute first. The first brand that we feature in Carl's Wine Club at the very, very, very beginning, the first offer. We always pride ourselves when we talk with Daniel about that. But now there's a lot of people in Ontario who are following Daniel closely, and just like every year, they can't wait for the release. And now it's happening, right? So anyway, we're at the winery. We're the first to get there to taste the new vintage. There's no Gismondi. There's no John Schreiner. No. Carl and Mira, first one, and Olivier Lemoyle, on site tasting the first new the new release. And now that whole thing of 10 years old and that stack of boxes happening, and we're like, oh my God, this is so much. And
so cool.
So we've kept the conversation going because Mira and I, like, a switch flipped, right? Like something like lit up, and like there's something to do about that.
Well, of course, we were like, so Daniel, what is the plan with all these old rosés you've got hanging out in your storage area here? And it seemed like, he'd been saving them for years now, and years, with the idea that at some point he hoped to find a group of people passionate about rosé, as passionate as he is, to share them with, because he knew they'd age well because of the way he made them, right? And so we got talking, and this is the exciting announcement, guys. We are going to do a first of its kind in Canada. We're going to go and taste side by side in a vertical tasting Daniel's single vineyard Pinot Noir rosés going back to what, 2012?
Well, 2012. We have 12 different wine to taste. It's going to be July 29th. There you go.
And what's fascinating is the colors. Like, as they age, they get darker, but also Daniel's
the style of Daniel, right, has changed throughout the years. Look at that. Pause this. And so July 29 in the afternoon, it's a Saturday. It's a Saturday afternoon. And Daniel agreed. And you know what? Like, secretly, we already have, I think it's 6 or 7 tickets sold, but it's gonna be 22 people. That's it. And we're going to taste these 12 wines side by side. I can tell you that none of these wines are on the decline. They are all aging incredibly, like in the fantastic fashion, because we tasted the 2013 and there is so much freshness left in that. So we agreed on a date. And we were supposed at the beginning to do that a little earlier in June, but we have settled for July 29. And it's never happened. It never happened before, a tasting like that. 12 vintage of single varietal, single vineyard rosé, all side by side. Donc, en français, un petit peu pour Olivier, puis Pierre, puis tout le monde qui nous écoute, les bouteilles que vous voyez là, on va les déguster toutes, une à côté de l'autre, dans une dégustation privée le 29 juillet. Il y a 12 années, 12 millésimes du rosé de Daniel, qui est cépage unique de sélection parcellaire. So yeah, it is something that we are so thrilled about. And again, I was with Daniel on the phone today talking about the food that's going to be served. And guess what? The tasting will be a stone throw away from the Tractor and Vines Vineyard. And there's possibly, it might have a vineyard tour on top of it. So yeah.
We're working on that part. So there'll be food, but the focus is the wine. So we're not going to try and do fancy pairings with each wine or anything like that.
No. The focus is not about the food. There's going to be food, but the focus will be about the wines. So yeah. How exciting is that, eh?
Very exciting. And Mike's just saying he wants to come out this summer. Not sure the date yet. Also want to be there for the party at De Silva. You know what? The tentative date for De Silva right now is the September 3rd, which is the Sunday of the long weekend, the Labor Day long weekend.
There you go. So
but that is not 100% confirmed with the winery and the restaurant there yet.
There you go. So we're chatting with Abul, who's the chef at the kitchen at De Silva, and we're trying to secure the staff and himself for a Sunday. That's the only day during the week that they're not open. So anyway, there's some logistical issues, but not issues, but some logistic and some details that we need to figure it out.
Definitely. But we will very soon, very soon. Oh, shoot. You have a wedding on the 2nd. Congratulations. That's amazing. And we will keep you posted on the date for this. But you know what? If that's not it, and let's say you come out July 29th for the rosé vertical instead, Mike, let's go out to De Silva anyway. We'll
We'll
take
do
you
a
out.
pre-party for you, Mike.
Yeah, will be fun.
There you go. So anyway, so the whole purpose was to taste and dissect and rate and do the scores for the new 2022, because I already tasted Maverick. We already tasted some of a few from the from Niagara. We tasted Omerta from Black Market. We've tasted, like, the rosés are pouring in, right? So we're on the full mode rosé tasting. So I couldn't wait to see where one of my top 10 wine of the year last year, the Tractor and Vines 2021. I say, where's this vintage stand? I had already a good idea after long, like, chatting for like very lengthy conversation with Rob Amersley at Black Market. Rob was telling me that the freshness and the length of the 2022 growing season brought so much flavor and so much precision and so much definition in the flavors. And I was like, oh, I couldn't wait. And there you go. So we got tasted that afternoon these two wines, the Tractor and Vines 2022 and the Fruitvale Ridge 2022. And guess what? They did not disappoint. They are, once again, at the very top of the scale, at the very, very top of my list. Listen, 93 points, 93 plus point for the Tractor and Vines. The color have never been as pale. The color has never been as Provençal. Daniel is really proud of that. There's so much work into getting the proper color. The Fruitvale Ridge, it's inching closer and closer to the big brother every year. And now
it's got its own, like, it's coming into its own this year. Like, I felt like last year it was a beautiful rosé. It was more of like a food rosé, and this year it's like expressing so much more, you know. What was neat too that we learned is this was the first time that Daniel processed those two wines using his own equipment. Is that right, Carl? And so in the past, he's a consultant winemaker, and so he was using some of the fancier, bigger, expensive equipment at some of the wineries he works with. And this time it was kind of more going back to a rustic style.
And not only that, it's because Daniel used to make his wine at Volcanic Hill in West Kelowna, and he lives in Coston in the Similkameen Valley. So we talk about an hour and a half drive away from the winery. So he goes there twice a week to check on the wine and this and that. Now he has it in his backyard. The winery, the wine, he said it became an obsession. It became an obsession. He was there every hour checking on the temperature, checking on everything, right? So yeah, it was just so pretty cool. Tu sais, Olivier a déjà 2 caisses de commander pour. He already ordered 2 cases. So yeah.
Bon, speaking of which, this is coming, not the vertical. Like, no one except the people that come in person will be able to access the older vintages, but those brand new ones that are just released, those are coming in less than 2 weeks to Carl's Wine Club.
Less than 2 weeks to Carl's Wine Club. We are going to be doing a full release with Daniel on the 14th of May. So the day prior to my departure for a month, we're going to be doing the big launch of Tractor and Vines and Fruitvale Ridge 7 Direction Rosés with Carl's Wine Club.
It's a great question, Mike. Would you say any other rosés coming out are on par with 7 Directions? We've tasted quite a few.
I'm missing a few big names that I haven't tasted yet. Courcelette, usually almost every year. Oracle is at the top of my list. I haven't tasted yet, and that's going to be Mira's job while I'm away to gather as many rosés as possible. We're going to throw a big live rosé tasting when I come back from my month-long trip in the Southeast Asia. But and there's another one that I haven't tasted yet. It's Lakeside Cellar Saint Saul Rosé, who was one of our very favorite from last year. But with that said, I have a real soft spot for Omerta, Black Market Omerta Rosé. I think it's the best that Rob's has made so far. An incredible, and a very, very well made Cap Franc Rosé. Finesse, the color is on point this year. Like I mentioned in my tasting notes, you guys might have seen that on somewhere on Facebook, on different platform. But it feels like every pieces of the puzzle I fell into the right place. Like everything, the flavors, the colors, the acid, the elegance, all the piece of the puzzle have came together. So Omerta is really, really good. But I have to say,
But still, this is the highest rated so far,
that's
right?
the pinnacle. That is the pinnacle. There's a flavor definition in there. There's an expression in Tractor that I have not find anywhere else. I mean, I've tasted this weekend Clausen Chase from Prince Edward County. I'm inching around the 92 points as well. Fantastic Pinot Noir Rosé from the KJ Vineyard, KJ Watson Vineyard, all the way in Niagara River appellation. A great rosé. I think I have downstairs. Also, what else? I've been tasting a lot lately. That's the pinnacle. So far, I have not found one who is touching it. But Vicky, I would agree with you. I was one of the first to taste Omerta, and this is pretty darn fantastic. I agree with you. And when I wrote the notes for Rob, I told him, I said, I feel like, and he was talking a lot, just coming back from Vancouver and tasting his new release with some of the big city people, right? The geek and they say all the attention was on Nothing to Declare. And I did taste both side by side. And I was like, I don't know. I love Nothing to Declare, but to me, Omerta had taken a big step. So yeah, I like Omerta a lot. I'm looking forward to taste Lakeside very soon. The second edition of their Saint Saul. But yeah.
And I got to say something really interesting. I wish I had a picture. We actually brought Omerta, the newest Omerta, to Daniel's when we tasted his new Tractor and Vines and Pinot Noir and Fruitvale Ridge. And now Daniel's made 200 rosés, right?
Eh?
Daniel's made 200 rosés, right?
No, this is number 60.
Oh, what was it about 200?
Maybe 200 cases this year.
Oh, I don't know. Okay,
No, so that's the other part of the story that I wanted to say as well. This is number 59 and this is number 60. 59, 60. What's this number mean? It's mean that Daniel is at now 60 rosé made since 2005 when he launched Le Vieux Pain Vila. The first rosé at Le Vieux Pain became an instant success, even when rosé was not a thing. And Olivier, you picked up on that one when we were there, right? Olivier did really pick up. Tu te souviens de l'anecdote de 59 et 60, absolument. 59, 60. And yeah, it's his 60th rosé. If you think about that, in the world of wine, there's one harvest every year, right? So to make 60 rosés in a span of 18 years, we're talking about something pretty unique. This guy's the rosé guy, the rosé master for a darn reason. And this is the pinnacle. This is the pinnacle. And this is no offense to Rob, to all of the winemakers who are doing a great job. I'm not saying that, but this is the pinnacle.
And this is the amazing thing that Daniel said, because we really love Omerta, and it's such a fantastic wine as well. And we tasted it as we were tasting, and Daniel said, I love this wine. And he said, you know what? I am extremely impressed because this is my 60th rosé. This is not Rob's 60th rosé. And
Rob has made less than Rob maybe have made 5, but if you count the nothing to declare, maybe Rob is at 7.
So the quality and what you're drinking in Omerta, and from what we've seen too, is the progression, like how each year there's like a leap, like a quantum leap in Omerta. It's good, and then it's even better, and then it's even better. So we were totally impressed with that, and both amazing rosés. But yes, I mean,
but put that in perspective. I rated Omerta higher than Fruitvale Ridge.
and I'm loving Fruitvale Ridge right now.
Oh, absolutely. Me too. And it's just to tell you how Omerta is great. So yeah. So
Good point.
release of 7 Direction coming on the 14th of May. There's going to be a very small amount because guess what? There's a lot of somm in Vancouver. There's a lot of wine directors in Vancouver who wants to get couple cases of each for their restaurant down there.
And
so
good thing that it ages well. Now we know because we've tasted a 10-year-old version. Because as we know, like next year, all the stocks of wine from the Okanagan are going to go down. So I wouldn't be surprised if this wine will be in high demand and sell out earlier than usual.
yeah, exactly. So 225 cases produced, 93 plus points. I'm just telling you, like, this is just special. And to have the check, and that's funny how, how everything happened, because we went tasting with them. At the end of that day, we got we texted, thank you, hey, we should get together for dinner. And they said, yeah, absolutely, next week. So the week after, so last weekend, they came over, him and his wife, Christine, and when they left, we had something on the table that we confirmed last week, and now it's a go. We're doing it. It's historic. I am so freaking pumped.
And it's a private event, so you'll hear more about it after the fact than before. But if you're at all interested in coming out to the Okanagan this summer, there's quite a few special occasions, and this would be one. There's also the members event coming later in the summer or early fall. But yeah, if you're ever, hey, I've been meaning to get to the Okanagan, July 29th would be the one to do. And like we said, we kind of confirmed everything earlier today, and we already have 5 or 6 tickets sold.
Out of 18. So it's a third of it. So yeah, so great question, Mike. So at Tractor and Vines, because the vineyard is like less than 500 meters from the lake, from the Okanagan Lake. So the tempering effect of the lake kept the temperature warmer just around the bank of the lake. So no, the weather did not went as low as minus 26. From other areas. So no, Tractor was not compromised at all because it's very, really, really close from the lake. So no frost damage, no winter damage at Tractor. Fruitvale Ridge, it's a different story. Fruitvale had some damage. We may talk about like 40% winter damage there. Daniel's still assessing the damage. There's some bud break happening right now, so that means there's juice flow happening in the cane. So there's some positive, but there's definitely some damage down there. And the sad part, it's Solas Rosa.
Solemn Rosa, yeah.
Solemn Rosa. It's the home vineyard now in Coston, whereas there's the 2-year-old Grenache planted these ones, very little survive. So
But some
costing,
did,
some
and it was
did.
interesting to see.
The
And he's
Pinot,
got,
the Pinot survived much better. The Cap Franc got hit, and the Grenache got decimated. So, but Solom Rosa, it's the home vineyard at Seven Directions Farm, where it's going to be farmed exclusively for rosé, and there's going to be some cool stuff coming out of that there in a couple of years. So, just in case if you guys didn't know. So that's
Totally.
funny because I did an interview with Daniel last night that we're gonna present on our Wine Wednesday on the 17th, and we barely talk about Solom Rosa. So we're gonna have to do a little bit more of a breakthrough to because this is a very special little piece of land that he has down in Coston. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and it's coming along, and very soon they'll have their winery tasting room open, which is super exciting.
Exactly.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about events because we're almost ready to go here. I know that we have a sick kid tonight. He's had a fever of like over 38 for 2 days, and so the doctor wants to see him at the hospital. So hopefully he's all good. Events. So last summer we did some crazy things like Carl's top 6 BC rosés. We had them by the lake with some charcuterie cones with just a small group of members, just like 10 members. We did that a few times with different things. We have this historic vertical of rosés coming up. And what we want to tell people is that we help plan private and corporate tours in the Okanagan. We've been doing that for 2 years, and actually in different places in Canada too. So we've done virtual things, but also in person. So we wanted you guys to know, because if you are thinking, I want to do a bucket list wine tour, we're the people to call. It's not always obvious what to do when you want to do a wine tour in the Okanagan or even in Niagara, because there's a lot of touring companies out there, and they'll charge you $300, $400, $500, $600 a person to take you out on a private tour. But what you're really paying for with that is like a driver who knows a bit about each winery and who can kind of take you around to some of their favorites. What we can offer is more of that ultimate bucket list experience. So if you have something very exciting that you want to celebrate, this is something we can help you with.
Well, and like Mira mentioned, we've been doing it for now over 2 years. Like we have some private clients every year they're coming, and there you go.
This was our members tour last year.
We plan everything from on-site transportation, from their hotel, from their stay, from everything. But when it's time for winery touring, we do not do the usual tasting room winery touring. And ask Mike LaPlante, but Mike is right there right now like we don't tour the way that any other tour company tour. We tour in the vineyard. Ha ha ha, my man. There you go. That's me and Marcel at Upper Bench after we did the vineyard walk that afternoon with Gavin, the owner. It was something pretty sick. And this is
a corporate tasting you did.
Oh, that was a corporate tasting that I did in Victoria.
Mm-hmm.
I did wine from across Canada in Victoria from an insurance company, insurance broker.
It was actually a wealth management company, but yes.
Anyway, yeah, either or. We probably did both throughout the year.
Wine, so that's what brought us together. But yeah,
that's
the point
right.
is, a lot of people don't know this, and if you are a VIP Unlimited member, you get a free consult if you're going to wine country, and we'll even book you into one of our partner wineries for free, which tasting fees these days can add up for a party of 4. So we'll get you in there on a complimentary basis for part of your tour. So yeah, we wanted to mention that.
And also because we've been working on our new website, people are asking every day, and we booked our EA We book a staff member who's gonna like the data is going in now. The data is going in. That's coming, Mike. We haven't forgot about your request. We know that's coming. So we're working
As
on
well
it.
as some perks for those of you that were so patient waiting for the archive of tasting notes.
Archive and the new website and all of that. That is coming. That's for sure. So yeah, that's where we're at. And touring, like we live in the wine country. We have built these relationships with some of the best winemakers or some of the most influential people in the valley. We want to share that with you. So either if it's regular tour, bucket lists, touring, whatever, a corporate, just give us a shout because we're there to make a wine tasting a unforgettable experience. How's that about a quote, eh?
I love that quote. Yeah. So speaking of which, we have been tasting a lot of things. When Carl comes back to Singapore, if you are coming through the Okanagan end of June, we will be tasting a shitload of wine to catch up from a month of not tasting wine. So you would need to stop by and see us. And we'll give you a sneak peek right now of what's coming up next week because it's a winery we have never featured before.
Right on the Naramata bench. This wine right there just won gold medal at the Lieutenant Governor here at the BC, the most prestigious BC competition. Just won gold. The 2022 Foreshadow Riesling Classic. This wine is not available. It's going to be the first official pre-release with Carl's Wine Club next week. There's the Pinot, there's the Rosé, there's a Pinot Noir the Chardonnay, elegant and like great flavor definition. So they're located on the Naramata bench, like right across from Little Engine, just before Neighbor from Upper Bench. Wilbert, before he opened Foreshadow stands for the 4 kids they have. They were grower for Synchromesh. So people know the reputation of Synchromesh here in British Columbia in the Okanagan, the top Riesling, one of the top Riesling producer in the country. One of the most almost iconic, very small production, really high in wine. So Foreshadows were grower prior to having their own winery. So we're gonna work. Oh, I have a vertical of 3 years of Merlot as well on that pack. 2018, 2019, and 2020. So we're gonna have these 3 Merlot available as well. So I'm really looking forward to. I have not tasted them all just yet. That is something I have to finish it off in the next couple of hours when I come back from the hospital. But yeah, so Foreshadow, small producer, and but there's some gems in there. Really, 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 really good gem.
Yeah, great story too. So we'll get to know them a little more next Wednesday for Wine Wednesday. Great to see you guys. Happy Wine Wednesday. Oh, Daryl's here with Stag's Hollow 17 Pinot Noir in the glass. Daryl, we tasted some Clausen Chase Pinot Noir that was outrageously good.
Last night. Yeah. Last night. I bugged you a couple nights ago, Daryl, with a couple pictures on messengers, but I did the tasting on the second day last night. And do you have a couple pictures of Clausen Chase, Mira?
I can try and find some, but it'll take a
minute.
Next time.
You know, sometimes you have some, I knew that Clausen Chase were great. I looked at some of the Wine Line tasting from last year. There was some 93, 94, 95 points, all of that. I'm like, what the heck? So I need to taste that. And finally, after being back and forth with the winery, we booked at the end of May. That's what we're featuring them coming up in the next couple of weeks, and the next 3 weeks. So this is really, really exciting. But tasting their Pinot. Last night, I put pen on paper I give it 95 points to their South Clos Pinot Noir. The South Clos Pinot Noir at $52 a piece. I give it a 95 points. It is this year. I have not tasted a better Pinot Noir this year, I have to say. And I've tasted some Thomas Batchelder, who makes some incredible Pinots. I did not taste a better Pinot Noir than Clausen Chase 2020 South Clos. My top Pinot Noir this year is Chardonnay from the same single vineyard. So South Clos 2020 Chardonnay, 94 plus. Clausen Chase is the real fucking deal. I can tell you something. Wow. Rosé 92 point, a Pinot Gris at 91 plus. I think the Pinot Gris it's the lowest score of the whole thing. This is mind-boggling. This is Batchelder level. This is Pearl Morissette level. It's Black Hills level. If you pick a big name winery, this is Da Silva level. These wines are off the chart. So hold on, Daryl. Hold on. You'll have to hear my spiel on the Grand Cuvée. They also make the Grand Cuvée, and like expensive but luxurious wine, Burgundian style. That is pretty cool. So Clausen Chase is really exciting. So that's coming. So next week, Foreshadow. The following week, Seven Direction Rosé release, and after that, Clausen Chase. We're gonna take a couple weeks of break before I come back, and after that, we're gonna do Mayhem. So the sister company of Meyer, the sister winery of Meyer, all the way down in Okanagan Falls. So another really exciting winery to feature. I'm super thrilled. We're going to be there tomorrow morning visiting their brand new winery. They open, well, they're not open to the public yet, so we're going there as en primeur. It's opening up like in the next couple days. So Mayhem is opening right next door to Meyer. They are the reference in Chardonnay Pinot Noir in the Okanagan. Mayhem does other varietal than Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. They have single vineyard Merlot. They have an incredible Sauvignon Blanc that I can't wait to taste tomorrow morning. So yeah, hope we're getting enough excitement to keep everyone on their toes. And
yeah, very good. More to come, including while Carl is away, a couple of unique member interactive kind of Wine Wednesdays while it's the Mira show. So I'll keep you guys posted on that, and we will be seeing y'all soon. What does Daryl say here? Should be doing number of glasses reviews while the cat is away. I agree. I mean, Carl, you're going to come back, and I'll have ruined everything you've done. Yeah, there'll be a lot of playing. It'll be good. We'll chat soon, guys. Happy Wine Wednesday. Thanks for stopping by.
So everyone, we're going to cut it short a little bit this week. We usually go a little longer, but
oh my God, yeah. Well, we do have the kid who needs to.
I have to take the kids to the hospital, so so yeah.
A bit of a fever for a couple days.
On that note, I think I'm going to have a sip of. I have here Foreshadow. Might have a sip of Clausen Chase, and guys, stay tuned. Thank you so very much for tuning in again tonight. You guys are all the best. We greatly appreciate all of you. So have a good rest of the evening. Cheers.